I guess today I'm gonna talk about how this atheist found spirituality. Because I sure was one of those atheists that said, "Oh my God, they found God at 40. I will never do that. I will never lose my moral clarity about the universe and give in to delusion. Ever." So here we are. How'd I get divine? That's what it is. It's recognizing some, like what is it? It's recognizing some great connection between things. Maybe. It's feeling amazing in the world. Ooh, let's go there. Can we have some of that, please? Why is that so rare and everything else so common? Whew. Is it not existing at all because you haven't been able to find an objective purpose, reason, meaning in the world? Some of that too. And I can't really tell you how it happened, but I can tell you what happened. And that is, I had a really, really hard couple months. And that led to a suicidal break where, in the height of my pain, I inadvertently, in my cowardice or in my hope, what is at the bottom there? It's an interesting question. But where I inadvertently cast a primal spell to lose everything. I already felt like I'd lost so much. So much had been just abruptly gone. And the grief was over. I can see now it was grief, and the grief was overwhelming. And I can see now also that it was a manic break. And the honest truth is I got a rescue. I got a rescue from, shout out, Nathaniel Stolte. And so that's a story for another time, but thanks, my dude. We're here. We're here. But I cast this primal spell to lose everything, and then I'm, sell everything I own. I don't have a lucky number anymore. I quit having prepared speeches, rehearsed speeches. And what that mostly looks like in our lives is just like, that story you tell every time someone mentions whether or not you like a hard or soft bed. That carnival story. The time you went to Worlds of Fun. Like there's these like keywords across the conversation that you drop in and you have the story that fits that slot. So I even lost all those, and I no longer allowed myself to tell a story I'd told before, which forced me into this wonderful world of like looking way deeper into the depths of my memories. A lot of memories and ideas and stories came out of that, not going to your first habitual thought. It was surprising. So I lost everything, sold everything, changed up everything I did for a living. I quit everything and lived out of this truck and landed in a commune. COVID strikes, so now you're stuck there. And, blessed that I landed there. But anyways, I'm not leaving. And these homies take me out on a river. They say it's fine, my first Ozark River, whatever. No, it's actually a flash flood. They didn't tell me this. That's bad on them, because they should have. But along that raging flood on the North Fork River in, May of 2020, the river took my boat. So I come around this blind corner. It's behind a root wad, so it's like a half moon, if you know what I mean. There's a downed tree that's canopy is actually what I'm headed into. I hit the canopy. I have a sit-in. The boat fills with water. I almost rescue it. I almost pulled it up with the strength of my legs. But this rogue wave from the root wad comes, crashes in, fills the rest of the boat with water. And so no bueno, boats going down. And what I know this means is that there's a cyclone at the stem, at the trunk of this tree that's underwater. I'm in the canopy. It's gonna take me and the boat and me down. And as my friend Liesel wisely taught me much later, if you do not bail, you will fail. But luckily I had that wisdom in the moment, and I bailed, and I was able to swim the flood across the river to the other side. And I just ran up. Now I have forgotten everything in this moment except for don't fucking die, man. Don't fucking die. If I hadn't acted just right, if I hadn't been a strong enough swimmer, if I hadn't kept my cool in that very unexpected moment, because I'm expecting some float like this. Y'all see this shit? Hardly anybody's dying on that. If I hadn't had every desire to live right then in place and ready to go, I would have gone down with it, and it would be a different story. Probably one not told, because those two kind of homies are a little quiet. And man, I swam to the other side of that river, and I came up on the little island, and my body full of spirit, full of rage, full of this agency, this desire. And I'd really been lacking in desire in a lot of ways. It's funny. And I shook my fist at the root wad, and I could see the tiny blue tip of my kayak bobbing slightly where it hadn't quite gone all the way down yet. And I just said, take it all. I don't need any of it. Have it. Take it. Here I am. You cannot take me. Except for at full volume. And these two people who don't know me really got to think, oh, but it was rich. It was alive. And I was speaking to myself and recognizing myself in all of the wild and the turbulence, and recognizing that I had been saved. I had been saved, that the river would never harm me, that the river had only given me exactly what I asked for, which was to lose everything, because the last of everything I owned was in that kayak, and the kayak itself, besides my trap. So that's when the moment of the primal spell ended. And man, and looking back, that's also the moment I came to really be alive, because I stopped cowering and hiding from parts. And people sometimes say, oh, you've always been so bold, blah, blah. Well, we all are weak somewhere, you know. We have a different set of things we'll put on display. Mine are unusual sometimes to other people, maybe. But on the inside, man, I'm just right there with you. Fucking, what am I gonna do? Am I doing okay? All that, everything, man. Life is fucking hard. The amount of pain we withstand is like astonishing, right? That I can stand here right now and honestly say to you, I am not in pain today, is like, it's a miracle. And for all you atheists out there, that's what a miracle is. It's not some institutionalized being that's judged by some people on earth. It is my heart, and how it's beating a little faster because I'm falling in the mud and talking to you and being in the world. And it's actually not more complicated than that. But it has repercussions. You're going to start to play, and you're going to start to have compassion for people who are in pain. And what that looks like is like you kind of take things less personally. You're a little more accepting of who people are. And what that is because, why? It's because you're more accepting of yourself. And for me, I made a choice to want to live because I always kind of wanted to die, and that's my story. I want to hear all your stories because there's about 1 million ways to get here, because infinity is real.